How are you doing today? I hope you're fine and staying safe at home. Well, my name is Ernest Emmanuel, and today's lesson we'll be looking at something different. In our previous lesson, we looked at formal letters, but today we'll be going to a different dimension. All right, let us look at these words. Can we read them together? Sheep, barley, spring, onion, tractor, cow. Take that again. Sheep, barley, spring, onion, tractor, cow. I'm looking at this expression. Can you explain what this means? Can you in any way make sense out of these words? To an extent, yes, you can differentiate. You can see that we have the word sheep, which is an animal, barley, plant, spring onion, a plant, tractor, a machine, cow, domestic animal too. But let me see. I want you to analyze and see if you can make sense out of it. Well, what did you make out of these words? Do they communicate any meaning to you at all? Well, this will lead us to our topic for today. We are looking at reading comprehension. Reading comprehension. Now, if you read a particular or given words or given passages, but you cannot make a sense out of them, it means automatically you have not comprehended. But if you read and you understand what you've read, then it means you have what? Comprehended. And in this lesson, you will learn to do the following. 1, you will learn to define reading comprehension. 2, you learn the elements of reading comprehension. 3, you will learn why reading comprehension is so important. And 4, you will learn to answer reading comprehension questions. Now, have you in any way found yourself reading and you got to a point that it's as if you're lost? Yes, probably you were reading and you were so carried away with probably the storyline, how interesting or how boring you feel it is. But you were not reading to understand. You were just trying, you were reading to see how you could just end that passage or that text in front of you. But we'll be looking at what reading comprehension is all about. And as students, we are supposed or we are meant to read and understand. We're not just meant to read for reading's sake. For every material you pick up to study, you are studying to understand and to make what meaning out of it. And it helps you in what? In your daily activities. What is reading comprehension? Simply put, reading comprehension is the act of understanding what you are reading. It is an intentional, active, interactive process that occurs before, during, and after a person reads a particular piece of writing. Now, I want you to watch the keywords there: understanding, intentional, active, and interactive process. Now, it means so long as you've decided to read, be it a statement, an advert, a text, a passage, first you are what? You have taken that decision, so it is intentional. Secondly, it is active because it involves you making use of what? Your brain, your senses. And thirdly, it is interactive because you are supposed to study and also make meaning out of what you are studying or what you are reading. But the watchword there is what? The act of understanding what you are reading. That is what reading comprehension is all about. Now, what are the elements of reading comprehension? It means, what are those things that you find in reading comprehension for you to understand the text, or what are those aspects you need to look out for? One is the vocabulary knowledge. The vocabulary knowledge. Now, the vocabulary knowledge and text comprehension. When we talk of the vocabulary knowledge, we mean, what are those words that were used in the passage? Do I have an idea of them? If I don't, I need to check them up, so that I will have a clearer understanding of how they were used in the text or the passage I'm reading. Now look at this. In order to understand the text, the reader must be able to comprehend, that is, understand the vocabulary, that is, collection of words used in the piece of writing. It is called reading comprehension because we said earlier that it has to do with what? Understanding. Now, collection of words used in the passage. There are some words you might come across while reading. If you do not, you've never come across such words, or you don't know their meaning, the best thing to do is to what? Is to consult your best friend, which is what? Yes, your second teacher, the dictionary. And having an understanding of such words will go a long way to helping you understand the passage, because when you understand such words, what they mean, you can relate it to how the writer made use of them in such passages or texts or whatever it is that you are reading. Yes, you'll be asking, why is reading comprehension important? Is it all about reading to understand the story? Is it all about reading to know the stories we have in our textbooks? Is it all about reading and reading? Yes, it's all about reading and reading, but first, reading comprehension is important because, number one, people read for many reasons, but understanding is always part of their purposes. We read for different reasons, but to understand is always part of our purposes. Like the set of words we started with in the lesson, the sheep, cow, onion, spring, and tractor. They are words. Individually, you can make meaning of those words. You can identify those objects or items, but putting them in a sentence, it doesn't align. It doesn't interpret anything. You cannot make sense out of it. But always know that for you to read, or we all read, to what? To understand. One of the purposes or reasons we read is for us to what? To understand. It's always part of our reasons. And secondly, reading comprehension is essential to life. Yes, everything we do in life, our study, all involves what? Reading. You might just be walking along the road, you will see a billboard or a signpost, maybe with encryptions on them. You read. You understand. You read to understand what such boards are there for. Everything that is pertaining our daily activity involves reading. Let's say you go to buy a sachet of, let's say, of water. You can get what? You can even get the company details on what? On such sachet. Let's say you go to a pharmacy and you prescribe drugs. Now, such drugs, you can only understand their dosage, especially if they are written. You understand their dosage, how to take them, only if you can read. If you cannot read, then you end up what? You end up giving, or should I say, taking the wrong dosage, which can lead to, which can be very harmful. So reading is essential to every aspect of our lives. Be it that you're going to use them as a student, be it as, so long as you're a human being, reading is just part of who we are. So this is these are two basic importance of reading that we must have at the back of our mind, so long as we exist as human beings. Now, in one word, I would like you to name this picture. Observe the picture. I know we have different objects there, but observe this picture as a whole. It's one. So in one word, what would you name this picture? Have you thought of it? Well, I can hear someone saying farm. I can hear someone saying rearing plants and livestock and all that. Well, you're not far from it. Okay, in one word, agriculture. Agriculture. And from your knowledge, what do you think, or what can you say is agriculture in your own words? Can you define agriculture? Let's say I am stepping forward. Please, what do you understand by agriculture? What would you say? All right, don't forget what we are doing, working on reading comprehension. So in your own words, I would like you to write what you feel agriculture is, or tell it to someone in your own words using this picture, because this picture has a way of it has a way of, should I say, covering all what agriculture deals with. Okay, if you've done that, let us look at this passage. The passage we'll be looking at is agriculture, and I would like us to read together. But please, before we go on, don't forget what reading comprehension is all about. So as you read, put that at the back of your mind. We are reading to what? To understand. So let's read with rapt attention. All right, let's go. Agriculture was an important economic activity. It absorbed a large number of people, and many other economic activities revolved around it. Agriculture made it possible to create, accumulate, and appropriate wealth in the form of foodstuffs and cash crops. Agriculture encouraged a rapid increase in population, since there would be food to feed a large number of people. It also encouraged a degree of urbanization, which made it possible for people to engage in and finance non-agricultural activities. Farm work consisted of clearing land, making mounds, sowing, weeding, and harvesting. The systems of cultivation varied considerably, but the following were common: shifting cultivation, irrigation, permanent cultivation, rotational bush fallow, and mixed cropping. The choice of any of these systems depended much on availability of land and the land tenure system and the physical features of the land. Yes. Now, from this passage, you will notice that we came across some words. You can also see some words that have been underlined. Now, I don't know what you understand about this passage, but I know what I have understood. Now, I would like you to study or read this passage again, because we'll be answering questions from them. I'd like you to read this passage. The paragraph 1, what is it talking about? Read and have an understanding. Then the paragraph 2 also, what is it talking about? Read and have an understanding. You've come across words, or if you come across words that you feel are difficult for you, consult your dictionary so that you have a true understanding of what the words are and how they are used in this passage. Meanwhile, as you do that, let us look at this example, still in line with this passage. Example questions. Let us look at number 1 example question. What 2 benefits of agriculture stated in the passage can you identify? Answer. Now, 2 benefits of agriculture stated in the passage includes 1. Agriculture made it possible to create wealth in the form of foodstuffs and cash crops. Yes, for the benefit of this lesson, I will only give one of the benefits. You will provide the other one, okay? Because you have your own activity too to engage in. So 2 benefits, and one of the benefits stated in the passage, that is of agriculture, is that it made it possible to create wealth in the form of foodstuffs and cash crops. You can go back and study it for yourself. 2. Second question. Give another word or phrase that can replace each of the underlined words as it is used in the passage. Now, when you are asked to give a word, another word or phrase that can replace each of the underlined words as used in the passage, it doesn't mean you should just give a direct meaning. You understand? Do not just go and look it up, check it up in the dictionary and then give direct meaning. No, it has to align with how the author used it in the passage. So when you want to replace such word with the one you found, it must also fit in with what? With the passage, or as it is used in the passage. Else you would what? You will be completely wrong. So anytime you want to look for another word or phrase to replace a word in the passage, always be sure that such word can also what? Fit in correctly and still maintain the message that what the author is passing across. Alright, example. Let's look at the example. Agriculture was an important economic activity. The underlined word there is in red, economic. Economic. So another word for economic activity, let us look at the answer. Another word or phrase for economic as used in the sentence could be lucrative, profitable. Then as a phrase, money making. So another word, we have lucrative, profitable, then a phrase, we have money making. It's simply, so now let us try and fit in one of those words with how and see how it is used in the passage. Look at that example. Agriculture was an important lucrative activity. Or agriculture was an important profitable activity. Or as a phrase, agriculture was an important money-making activity. Now if you notice, we've replaced what? Economic activity with these words and the phrase, and it still went to pass. It still has what? Passed what? The message that the author is letting us understand. All right, I hope that anytime or next time you study, even though you still work with this activity, next time you study and subsequently always read to understand, so that it will your understanding of what you're reading will help you in the overall knowledge of the message, the purpose of the author. Now let us look at the activity that you will engage yourself in. So you will read the passage again, as I said, over, and one, you provide these answers. Number 1, what 2 benefits of agriculture stated in the passage can you identify? Aside from the one I provided, you have to look for 2 more. Number 2, why does agriculture encourage a fast growth in population? Number 3, the systems of cultivation varied considerably. Mention 3 common systems of cultivation referred to in the passage. 4, give another word or phrase that can replace each of the underlined words as it is used in the passage. So engage in this and let me see how you will respond to this. That's your assignment. I'll be expecting your feedback. So I hope this lesson has been beneficial, and I hope that you apply the knowledge, so that subsequently in your reading comprehensions, as we'll be doing, it will be much easier for you to read and understand what you are reading. Thank you, and let us call it a day. See you in our next lesson. Have a great day ahead.